Yeah, so the assessor's office, our main responsibility is to take the tax levy that's collected through real estate taxes and equitably apportion that tax levy throughout the town. And the manner in which we do that is by placing fair and equitable assessments on all 8,000 plus real estate parcels, single families, two families, condos, commercial properties. A tax exemption is relief on your tax bill, meaning a reduction in your tax liability to the town with the exception of the tax deferral. That's the only tax exemption that would have to be paid back to the town upon property transfer. The basic requirements that apply to all of exemption applicants is that the property in question must be their domicile as of July 1st, 2017 for this current fiscal year. They must have ownership, and ownership can also be held as a trust or a life estate, but we would just need to see that documentation. And those are the two basic requirements for, all exemptions. Elderly exemptions there's basically two amounts. One's a $175 exemption, which means, it would come right off your tax bill, and the other is $500. In order to qualify for the $175 exemption, you would have to have assets of less than $40,000 as of July 1st. For the $500 elderly exemption, your assets cannot exceed $28,000 for a single applicant or $30,000 as a married couple, and income cannot exceed $17,563 to be exact, and $22,805 for a married applicant. Veterans exemptions, there's a litany of various exemptions that veterans are qualified to receive. The one base requirement on veterans exemptions is that they have to have a minimum of a 10% service-connected disability. And with that, they would receive a $400 exemption. And like I said, there are a number of veterans exemptions, all the way up to 100% of their taxes can be abated. And because there are so many, I would definitely direct veterans either to our office, the veterans agent, or our website. It does list all of the minutiae for each exemption. Surviving spouse, you would need to be a widow or surviving spouse as of July 1st, 2017 for this fiscal year. And again, it's the asset test. You would have to have less than $40,000 in assets as of July 1st. The requirements for a blind exemption applicant is that they would have to complete an application like all the other exemptions and include a copy of their certificate of blindness, which is available from the state. Our most popular, or at least the most well-known exemption that's available is on the Community Preservation Act, which is the 3% surcharge that is added to your real estate tax bill, and that surcharge is after the first $100,000 of your value. So the first $100,000 of your value is exempt. The rest, there's a 3% surcharge, and there are exemptions available for elderly and low to moderate income applicants. If you feel that you meet these requirements, For the elderly exemptions, you would need to provide, if you're a first-time filer, a copy of your birth certificate, along with your 2016 tax return. Blind persons would have to submit, in addition to their application, a copy of their certificate of blindness from the state. Veterans, depending on which exemption you're applying for, would have to submit, along with your application, a copy of your service-connected disability form from the VA. And there's, based on the exemption that you're applying for as a veteran, there's different forms required. And we can certainly walk applicants through that. It gets a little more complicated. But we're obviously here to help. In addition to the exemptions that we talked about, there is something called a tax deferral, which is available to seniors 65 years of age or older who earn less than $40,000. In order to qualify, you would have to meet that $40,000 requirement and submit a copy of your 2016 tax return. And essentially what a tax deferral is, the homeowner is choosing at this time not to pay their taxes without becoming delinquent in their taxes. He's simply deferring it to a future date. We do want to encourage anybody that even thinks they may have qualified or will qualify for these exemptions to contact our office. Time is of the essence. Applications for fiscal 2018 are due either in the office or postmarked by April 2nd, 2018.